Okay, we're back and we're starting with chapter 3, section 2. And the first thing we need to look at is the far left and right behavior. So this is what the far left and far right sides of the graph are doing when we graph a higher order function. So when you're doing this, remember the only thing we're interested in is the first term. So I would suggest you circle the first term and then you cross out everything else so you don't get confused and look at the wrong information. So we're looking for two things. We're looking for, is the term positive or negative? And then, is the exponent odd or even? So there's 4 different patterns. There's positive and odd, positive and even, negative and odd, or negative and even. And those determine what happens on the far left and right side. So on the far left and the far right side, the graph is either going to go up, which means it's going positively up from the x-axis, or it's going to go down negatively from the x-axis in a downward direction. So you need to memorize the patterns for these. I would suggest you memorize what happens when it is positive and odd or even. Because when it's negative, well, it's like any other graph, a negative leading term will flip the graph. So if you remember what positive is, then when it's negative, you just know that they reverse, okay? So I'm going to start with the second one since the second one is positive. So here is our leading term. Again, we're going to cross everything else out. This one is positive, and the exponent is even. Okay, so when it's positive and even, the graph will go up on the left and also up on the right. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Okay, simple as that. Number 5 down here, I just grabbed some random polynomials from your textbook. Number 5 is positive as well, but it's also even. So we're not looking at the 3 or the 6 as far as the odd or the even. Remember, we're looking at the exponent for odd or even. The 3 is positive, the 6 is positive. So both of these are positive and even. And this will do the same thing. This will go up on the left, and it will go up on the right. Okay. Our last one down here, we have 5x to the 5th as our leading term. And again, we can go ahead and cross out the rest of this because we don't want to get confused with that. So for this one, our term is positive, but the exponent is odd. So odd and positive means it's going to go down on the left and up on the right. Okay. And you can remember odd has 2 D's, so the left and right go in different directions. That's an easy way to remember with odd. So let's go back up here to number 3. So this one was negative and odd. Again, the exponent, the 5, is what we're looking at for odd or even. So this is the opposite of number 5, or number 6 down here, sorry. It went down on the left and up on the right. So since this is the opposite, this one is going to go up on the left and down on the right. Okay. So again, when it's negative, you just take your answer from positive and you reverse them. So if it went up when it was positive, it's going to go down when it's negative. If it went down when it was positive, then it's going to go up when it's negative. Just the opposite direction. So let me just give you a quick graph so you can visualize what this might look like. So here is our x and y axes. So positive and odd, we said, went down on the left and up on the right. So here would be an example of a graph that is positive and odd. So you can see over here on the left side, the graph is going in a downward direction. Over here on the right side, it's going in an upward direction. Okay. If I had a graph where it was positive and even, then my graph might look something like this. I'm going to just touch the x-axis. So you can see on both the left and the right, the graph is going up. Up on the far left, up on the far right. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about far left and far right behavior. So don't forget your worksheet. Be sure to send that in when you're done with it. And I'll see you the next time.